What's going on, everybody? This is Jakim, and welcome back to another episode of Jakim Cigar Journal. I'm chilling out here in Hoboken, and we're in front of Hoboken Cigars, and we're gonna go inside in a few minutes and talk to the owner and get some good info on some cigars, some rolling, what their top brand is, and all that good stuff. So thanks again for joining Jakim on Jakim Cigar Journal. This is Cigar Shop and Lounge Review. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, let's get it.
Du denkst wirklich, du bist wichtig, wirklich wichtiger als ich. Denkst du wirklich, du bist wichtig? Vielleicht doch, vielleicht auch nicht.
This is Jakim, and welcome back to Jakim Cigar Journal. I'm sitting here in Hoboken Cigar Shop, and right next to me I'm talking to Doc, and he's going to break down the history of the shop, how long it's been here, some of the popular cigars here, and give us just some good cigar conversation here today.
Sure.
All right,
Sure.
and let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah.
Doc, tell us about the shop, brother.
So it's a unique shop. It's dominated by foot traffic, as you can see.
Right.
We're in a perfect corner on any given day that there's an event, SantaCon, during the summer. We can just get traffic or people who are novice come into the shop.
Right.
But the shop has been here for 18 years.
Wow, okay.
Soretta and Donato are the shopkeepers. And it has its own little eclectic social narrative, whereas predominantly individuals will come in and they'll want to get the Padrones,
Right.
The high-end brands, but because it's a hand-rolled shop, they get the best of both worlds.
Right.
Where Donato has a brand,
Yes.
Soretta has a brand, even I have my own special cigar here called the Terence Special,
Okay.
and it's a unique cigar that only the in-crowd here knows about because it's you just wouldn't expect what it delivers.
Right.
So that's the wonderful thing to actually just have this conversation today.
Okay.
Is because I think a lot like your vlog, you have all these little nuggets of special things that you can just share with the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I actually have a Don Donato here. I had one once
Whoa.
before when I was here, and I enjoy it. Very, very good stick, consistent, smooth smoke. So I definitely love the Don's sticks. I feel a little cheated because I didn't know that you had a stick here too. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and
It
get
ain't
one of
over
those.
yet.
Yeah.
Got you.
Exactly. So you mentioned you got some newbies that will come through.
Yeah.
What type of advice? 'Cause I've been puffing cigars about 20 years, and I
Yeah.
actually had mentioned newcomers to the game in some of my videos, some of my previous videos. So what would be some good advice? Like, can you name maybe a couple of brands that you recommend to newcomers, and what do you tell them about cigars?
I mean, that's a great segue. Shameless plug about the network group I call Cigar Tribe that I started.
Okay.
What I'd like to get newbies to do is to kind of understand the culture first.
Right. Very important.
That will set your momentum in terms of what you expect. For example, when they come in, I'll talk to them about what do you like to eat, and kind of get an overall palette of how they take in food, what they like to drink, and then really try to tell them you would want to start with a cigar that can complement that, because you don't have to do any heavy lifting, and it's already going to come very near to what you already put in your body.
Right.
And then the rest of it really just comes with coming up with a bit of etiquette and understanding how you like it cut, depending on what type of roll it actually is.
Okay.
And just, having that culture that they can come back to and mature their palate, mature the understanding of what really will just come natural out of sociology, and that's
Right.
you meet great people like yourself.
Absolutely, my brother. Absolutely, absolutely.
And it just continues to grow from that in an
Right.
organic manner.
Right.
And I love that. Organic friendships, organic
Right.
leaf.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. That's very interesting because I was saying, like, my very first cigar, about 20-something years ago, was a Macanudo.
Ooh.
And
Just went straight for the top.
yeah, because I didn't know.
Right.
I mean, well, there's another story that I made my very first video about. It's a horrible story about how my first cigar. I thought I was doing something. I got something that you could have got from the corner store, and I thought I was doing something.
Okay.
But then I learned.
Right.
But yeah. So I had a Macanudo, and then
Leaf lessons.
yeah, leaf lessons, and then I went and I got into. I was still living in New York at the time.
Okay.
And I went to the Nat Sherman Cigar Shop, and I got a pretty good direction from there, and then the rest is history. But I always tell newcomers, get something mild, maybe.
Yeah.
What's a good mild cigar for a newcomer to jump on? In your honest opinion.
Most of the time I'm exposed to young men around the ages of 23 to 25. Fortunate for us, we have Stevens Institute down the street.
Okay.
So there's a lot of commemorative activities that drive that crowd in. So giving an example, I'll do something like a Double Chateau by Fuente, which I think it's a nicely crafted cigar and it starts them great. But then I also use Don Donato's Robusto,
Yes.
which is a Claro. It's early in the day,
Right.
but it's going to fit the same palate for someone who trying to get their game on,
Right.
and understand the
Right.
cigar world.
Right.
So
Let me ask you this: are you noticing more younger generation cigar smokers coming into the game? Are you noticing more young people getting involved in cigars, or is it been kind of like the same?
Right.
Give me your thoughts on that.
I mean, that is a very complex question, and a great one at that, because I actually see it coming in from an agnostic standpoint. So commemorative type of activities like what we discussed,
Right.
Individuals that are maybe their bourbon and whiskey game just got started and they're understanding that cigar pars really well with that. So young people all the way up to adults in their late senior years are coming to the table.
Wow.
And I find that fascinating because having actually owned a cigar shop, ran that for 7 years, made it profitable, taking a step back to kind of want to follow in footsteps kind of like what you're doing, I've been able to see a lot more of what you're talking about because I'm looking at the cigar experience from the social standpoint.
Right.
And I see it's like everything from the young college kid to the retiree.
Wow. Okay.
And men and women. So
right. Which
yeah.
It brings me to my next question. You're about to go into it. So I'm noticing a lot more ladies getting into the cigar game.
Hey now.
Right? And I have no problem with this.
Right.
I want to get your thoughts because it seems like I was reading something a few months ago that said, believe it or not, maybe between 30% and 40% of cigar smokers are women these days.
Wow.
I thought that number was amazing.
Yeah.
And I've been at certain events and I'm seeing a lot more women smoking cigars. It used to be a man's game.
Right.
Looking back, I remember looking at some of the old movies, the Humphrey Bogarts and stuff like that, men just chilling out smoking cigars, never any women involved. And now we're seeing a slew of women being involved now. And I guess that is a forward-moving trend.
Right.
What do you think drives something like that?
I think women are kind of flexing, growing in more leadership roles. Everything from entrepreneurship to just the corporate board. And I think they are just finding some of the same things because when you pick up a leaf, it says it's neither male or female.
Right.
But that unique experience and that camaraderie fits inside of any cultural circumstance or situation. And I think what more to beautify what we enjoy by having women?
Because I think it's hot personally.
Oh, totally.
I think it's hot.
I have a good friend, she's a cigar roller. She can blend and watching her blend, smoke her cigar. I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
It's just beautiful.
It is beautiful. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. I tell you what, we're going to take a walk around the shop and get into some more good cigar game.
Right.
How about that?
Let's do it.
All right. Jakim from Jakim Cigar Journal. We're up in Hoboken Cigar Shop, and we're in the Humidor, and I'm here with Doc, and he's going to give us a tour of what's inside the Humidor here.
So we were talking about what would be the great cigar to help beginners get a better touch. So depending on what they're looking to do, what time of day, again, I typically start out with something really light. This is a natural cigar. It's Dominican full leaf, and it's not complex, but it'll allow them to really enjoy a good smoke and take it to the next level. It's a great starting place. If the ladies come in, they typically don't necessarily have a palate ready for that big smoke yet, so I give them something of a little blend. It's not a big stick, but it has a sweet tip to start. So it'll start with the sweet tip, and then you get the rest of the full leaf tobacco. So it's a beautiful tool to use. Don Donato also does a bigger ring gauge. This is more of what I'm smoking on a Saturday, 3 o'clock, watching my favorite football team. It has Nicaraguan leaf.
Please don't say Patriots.
No, I wasn't even going to name a team. I was just
Okay.
football.
All right.
Yeah, so this is a very good smoke. And for those who want it in a lighter form, also we have same Nicaraguan leaf. It's a nice wrapper, Connecticut shade. And it's a wonderful stick. And essentially, we go with the same type of wrap. It just varies. We always do a Maduro. We always do a clear wrapper, and that pretty much will follow in the mix. And that's a real simple 1-2 in terms of what it is.
Right.
I was talking about one of my favorite. Now it'll be known to the entire internet world. This is a 20-minute smoke, and it is probably my favorite cigar of all time right now. It does have Nicaraguan leaf. It is wrapped, and it is not for the faint at heart. But you will not find another cigar for $4 that will deliver the punch this cigar does. Right. So I did want to share that with,
briefly,
your viewers.
Some people get confused.
Yes.
You can get a $4 cigar that is amazing.
Yes.
Yes, and right?
Absolutely.
So people get confused with price. If you want, could you just give us a brief little spiel between with price and cigars? A price doesn't always necessarily dictate the quality,
correct,
or your enjoyment of a cigar.
Absolutely. Well, we talked a lot about how everyone gets into smoking cigars, and your palates go all over the place.
Right.
Your palates will change in the wintertime. Well, what that means is it's going to dictate what kind of cigar you're willing to try and choose until your palate gets set. But how that affects the price is, know this. It takes about $3 to roll any cigar.
Okay.
The thing is, as the cigar grows in terms of its following, marketing, and brand, that's also going to add to the price point. So as you grow, for example, guys come in here all the time and they go, hey, do you guys have Cuban? And we look at them with shame because we're like, a Cuban is a real Cuban. It's Cuban leaf, full Cuban wrapper, Cuban binder, and that's it. It has no complexity to it.
Right.
But it's the allure,
right,
the Bay of Pigs, when we had the trade embargo, that created the mystique behind the Cuban.
Right.
But that's why it costs so much to get them. But in terms of manufacturing and rolling it, we do it right next door, and we can create a great cigar that can compete with the best of them.
Wow.
And we don't own that. A lot of other rollers, a lot of other shops can perform that same act.
Wow.
So that's my 2 cents on price point and really how it looks in the market. But it should not prevent you from you and I sharing a conversation. I'm like, hey Jay, I want you to, obviously you're gonna try this before you leave. So,
absolutely, you know I am.
So,
I'm all in. Yeah. I just wanted to get that out there because some people get confused. And it's like, wait a minute, you can get a damn good stick.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't not gonna cost you, a king's ransom.
No, absolutely. So, and I'm so glad you said that, because so many times I have friends that come in and they they smoke nothing less than $18, $19 cigars, and I'm like, it is what it is. But
I had a $40 that was a dog rocket, so
yeah.
Go figure, you know.
Yeah. And so the last little bit, I'm gonna swing behind our wonderful cameraman guy, and so those of us who consider this a third place or a second home, this is where we keep the real stash.
Wow.
So there's
wow,
a little bit of that. Gets really
wow.
So, and these are some of the whiskeys and bourbons that
wow, look at that.
I relish in. Yeah.
The beauty of it all.
Yeah.
The beauty.
That's enough. I'll keep the other secret stuff in there.
All right, all right.
I'm starting to look like an alcoholic. All right, brother.
Man, we need some heavily music playing when he brought that out. Oh, man.
Good. And that's our brief tour. I mean,
Okay.
we do have the regular brands, Punch, you know, anything that you want.
Yeah.
LFD.
Yeah.
Some of the basic brands.
Yeah.
One of my favorite little intermediate cigars is by Carrillo.
Oh yes, I like those as well. Those are good. Those are good.
Yes.
Those are excellent. Those are excellent. I see you have here one that I used to puff years ago, and then it disappeared and came back out. The Ramon Ionis.
Yes.
That. Oh, I love that stick.
Yeah. How quickly did you graduate to like a mature palate like that?
It took a little bit.
Okay.
It took a little bit. I definitely started off mild, and then I went from mild, medium,
right,
and then I stayed medium,
Okay.
and then after a while I went medium full.
All right,
and
so
then
we can
full.
get in the ring.
Oh yeah.
you can hold your own with that.
Oh yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Very
So
nice.
you know, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
this is the Humidor Tour, and we're gonna step out of here and get a little bit more here on the cigar. And we're back here at Hoboken Cigar Shop, and of course I'm sitting here with Doc, and we've been having some good cigar conversation. One of the things I noticed when I first came to the shop was you have some very interesting humidors here.
Yes.
So please tell us about some of these very interesting humidors that you have here. This
Sure.
particular one in general.
So one of the things we can do is we can just give you a traditional humidor to take care of what you need to do at home in terms of your stash. But if you want a commemorative humidor, you want to have one for a gift, we have the ability to handmade it, have it handmade. So it comes with anything that you could. This is specifically laid out in terms for the kind of cigars that Soretta would typically have.
Wow.
Also has to be able to measure it, to keep your cutter and lighter in there.
Wow, yeah.
And then
Nice.
it can be embroidered with the name on there. Here we have Soretta Royal, which Soretta's the owner of the shop.
Right.
Her name.
Wow.
So yeah,
That is
and
fantastic.
then also with keeping with brand on Donato cigars, we
at
can give you a handmade ashtray.
That is a beautiful ashtray.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And obviously we'd put a big J in there if it was for you.
Right, right. I appreciate
But
that.
yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, but I love that because
Yeah.
that's putting the fine signature on what you're committed to when it comes to the leaf.
Absolutely. You got to
Yeah.
have a place to keep your precious cigars and keep them humidified and in good smoking condition. I actually have a couple of humidors at the house that I've had for a long, long time. So I'm probably in the market for another humidor myself, and I
yeah.
might have to treat myself to something nice here.
I'm here
But,
and I'll take the measurements.
There we go,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, let's do this.
You know, but as we start to wind this wonderful conversation down and this video down, give us some final thoughts just on the cigar game, where it is right now, and maybe where you see it going maybe in a couple of years from now. Because like I said, we're noticing some trends with
Right.
women getting into it. You have younger males getting into it.
Yes.
So just give us some final thoughts on the cigar game and what you might possibly predict, in your opinion, coming here in the future.
I think it's going to be a little bit more social media influenced. I think there's going to be a tighter relationship between the work that I do and what you're doing and how we come together to enjoy a given cigar lounge. And it's really going to be more customer experience focused. That said, I think people are going to create shops that are more exclusive with that node. I mean, the shops are great. This shop is great. But to really put a fine point on your question, I think being able to visually know where you want to go try that wonderful cigar shop because of the experience,
right,
or maybe a unique smoke, I think that's only going to be available by what you're doing. And I see more of that happening.
Okay.
Yeah, as a caveat to the industry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. I see a lot more people getting involved in the cigar game, whether it be a customer or on the other side. There's so many cigar brands out there now, right, that I've noticed in the last few years. So
yeah,
people are making their own blends,
exactly,
and things like that.
Very boutique-ish.
Very boutique-ish.
Yeah.
In fact, one of my things I'd like to do one day eventually is have my own blend as well. I'll get there eventually, I believe, and you know, maybe even open my own shop, you know, eventually. But it's just, I enjoy meeting brothers and sisters of the Leaf and networking, absolutely, and having wonderful conversation and memorable moments and talking about different cigars and just life experiences in general.
Right.
And I tell you, it's a wonderful hobby, and I'm glad I turned it into something now where I'm actually going out more and putting my experience of meeting people on camera.
I couldn't agree more.
I got to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule here. You know, it's the holiday season,
sure,
right after Christmas, and sitting down with me and chopping up some good cigar game here. If you want to shout out some of your people or your cigar brothers and sisters, man, feel free to do so.
Yeah, everyone who came to our Cigar and Whiskey Night on December 20th, we created a new movement called Cigar Tribe, and you can follow us at Cigar Tribe. Our fan page is easy to find on Facebook. We're also at Cigar Tribe on Instagram. So look to connect more with everyone and continue this movement.
Absolutely, right, absolutely. And don't forget all to like and subscribe, Jakim Cigar Journal. Hit that notification bell, all right, so that you'll be notified of my next video. And once again, thank you, Doc. I appreciate you, brother.
My pleasure.
And be sure to catch that next video, y'all. All right? Peace.